Good morning, everybody. Welcome back to the channel. Right, hope you've had a good bollocks. Good morning, everybody. Welcome back to the channel. Hope you've all had a good Easter. Hopefully now the weather will start to get a bit warmer because I still find it quite cold. I don't know whether it's an age thing or what, but I'm just so nesh nowadays. But hopefully now things will pick up and we'll see a bit more sun with a bit more warmth to go with it, hopefully. Right, I'll start off with a quick shout out to an old colleague of mine who moved on to pastures new a few months ago. Joe Raven. Morning, Joe. I don't know if I miss you, mate. I miss you so much at that place. It just ain't the same without you. Joe sent me a list of movies during the week that I should probably check out. I know most of you will absolutely, completely, 100% disagree. But especially when you hear the titles of them. I'll just run through them very quickly. They're all what I would class as pretty rubbish movies, but you know of my love for crap films, so this will come as no surprise. Larmageddon. I have actually seen that one and I loved it, absolutely loved it. The sight of a llama with lasers shooting out of its eyes is just unforgettable. So, yeah, that's a 7 out of 10 for me, easy. Stephen Kang's Sharks of the Corn. Yes, it is a piss take of Children of the Corn. I've taken a look at the trailer. Not sure that one's for me. Velocipastor. I'm ashamed to say that I have actually seen that one and I actually watched it all the way through and it is truly dreadful, really, really bad. So, Rubber. This is one I really, really enjoyed. This is the one about the killer tyre. It is not as stupid as it sounds. Maybe it is actually, but I thought it was really good. It was a lot better than I thought it was going to be. Zombievers. That sounds such fun. I watched the trailer for it last night and loved it. I need to take that one in ASAP. Bring It On. Cheer or Die. Now there was a series of movies in the 2000s, the early 2000s, I think, called Bring It On. It was all to do with cheerleaders, American cheerleaders. And this one is a sort of I presume, a piss take of those, with it being called Cheer or Die. I think what they've basically done is welded together a cheerleader film with a slasher film, and this is what you get. So, Slaughterhouse, which is about to kill a sloth. Heaven knows how this is going to work because sloths cannot move very fast, as we know. So I'm looking forward to taking a look at that one. An Evil Bong. I have no idea what to make of that one. But thanks for the list, Joe. Much appreciated. Hope the new job's working out, mate, and that you keep him well. It was just nice to hear from you. If you get any more movies like that, if you want to compile a list anytime, feel free to send them over. So thanks for that, Joe. Start with comments. David, or start with David. Awesome video. What are your favourite Vincent Price films? And have you ever seen a show called Cooking with Vincent Price? And what are some of your favourite BFI titles? Right, in that order. First off, yes, I have heard of the cooking show with Vincent Price. It's called Cooking Price-Wise. I haven't watched this yet, as you can tell, because it's still in the cellophane. That's the back of it. But there's all sorts on this. I really do want to take a look at this. This is going to be a case of Delia Smith, eat your heart out. I didn't know that Vincent Price could cook at all. So, as soon as I saw this, I thought, obviously you associate Vincent Price with horror movies like Witchfinder General, that kind of thing. And when I saw this, I thought, you know what? I want it. So I got it, and I've still not watched it yet. So, yes, I have heard of that one, mate. And what are your favourite, or some of your favourite BFI titles? Oh no, Vincent Price films first, wasn't it? Right, I've got a list here, just bear with me. Witchfinder General, obviously, which is a total classic. The Devil's Triangle, which I showed off last week, that's basically a documentary about the Bermuda Triangle. As I said before, the subject matter is creepy enough, but you put Vincent Price's narration over the top of that and it's next level scary. Theatre of Blood, which is absolutely brilliant fun, made about 1971. Basically a theatre actor's career is destroyed by critics and he decides to get them back by murdering them in the style of Shakespeare kills in his plays. It's just great fun. It sounds daft, and it is, but it is really, really good fun. The House on Haunted Hill, I enjoyed that one. The Fly, love The Fly, and the sequel, The Return of the Fly. Not so much The Curse of the Fly, because Vincent Price wasn't in that one. The Abominable Dr. Phibes and Dr. Phibes Rises Again, which is a similar thing to Theatre of Blood. Basically, he's getting back a load of doctors who let his wife die on the operating table, and he's killing them in these very, very novel ways. Really, really good fun. The Monster Club, that's an anthology film, that was good. I loved his turn in the Kenny Everett movie Bloodbath at the House of Death, that was good. Mask of the Red Death, love all of the Roger Corman, Edgar Allan Poe movies, but that one I think is my favourite. It's actually on is it Film 4 at the moment, or iPlayer, I can't remember, but I'll be watching that one again shortly. And Cry the Banshee, which was also very good. I think that was H.P. Lovecraft, but I'm not sure. But I loved Cry the Banshee. Favourite BFI titles? I've got a small handful here. There's just 5 of them. Now, I've not seen all of these, but obviously I bought them knowing full well that I am going to enjoy them. First one would be The Music Lovers. This is a Ken Russell movie. I don't know completely what it's about, but I do love Ken Russell's films, so I know that I'm going to enjoy that. If it's in a similar vein to something like The Devils or something like that, I'm definitely going to enjoy that one. Next one, Day the Earth Caught Fire, which I think I showed off a few weeks ago in answer to somebody else's question. I absolutely love this movie. Stars Edward Judd, Leo McKern. It's just a cracking science fiction stroke fact type of movie. It's in black and white, made about 1963, directed by Val Guest. Basically, the Earth is knocked off its axis by 2 simultaneous nuclear explosions on either side of the world, and we basically have to find a way to stop the Earth from hurtling towards the sun and burning us all to a crisp. Absolutely brilliant movie. Seen it loads of times and love it. Women in Love, controversial as hell. I think this was Ken Russell as well. Stars Oliver Reed, Alan Bates, Glenda Jackson, and one of the Redgraves. No, it's not. Jenny Linden. Absolutely brilliant movie, based on a D.H. Lawrence novel. Famous for only one scene that if you've seen it, you will definitely know it. But I love this film. Seen it a few times and really, really enjoy it. Psychomania, one of the best batshit crazy mental horror movies you will ever see. Early 70s, 1971. I can't remember the entire plot of it, but believe me, if you watch this, you will not regret it. It's got one of the funniest funeral scenes I have ever seen in my life. It's just superb. I think I did a review of this early on in the channel's life, just this movie on its own. So if I think on, I'll repost that, because I'm fairly sure it's still relevant. But that is a cracking movie if you've not seen it. And this one I bought a few months ago. Now, I've not seen this, but I did used to love ska music back in the early 80s. Sort of the Specials, the Selector, Madness, all that kind of thing. And this is a feature-length concert footage movie of all these bands playing at different venues. I believe it was filmed in 35mm. It's a cracking looking movie. I wanted to see this for years. I didn't go at the time to watch it when it was initially released in the cinema. I don't know why, but I didn't. So I've been waiting sort of 40 years plus to grab a look at this. So I grabbed this this BFI print, which is supposed to be absolutely gorgeous. You've got loads of extras on the back there as well. So that's one I'm going to be taking in very, very soon. So they would be 5 of my favourite BFI titles. And you also asked me, would you class The Elephant Man as a biopic? I love the film so much, great cast. I would say so. Yeah, I would say it's a biopic. It's about a man that really lived, John Merrick. The Doctor, played by Anthony Hopkins, really lived. So yeah, I would class it as a biopic, mate. So yeah, thanks for that David, much appreciated, mate. Always good to hear from you. Let's see, Dave Taylor. I missed you last week, I do apologise, mate. Dave Taylor. Hi Tony, thanks for helping me get through the early hours with your soothing, caring voice. Been poorly the last few nights. Oh, sorry to hear that, and thanks very much, by the way. I had no idea I got a soothing, caring voice, but apparently I have. Um, just watched May 5th's instalment and really enjoyed it. Cheers, Dave. Two for the Road was mentioned. This is Audrey Hepburn and Albert Finney. I've seen it. Was it Albert Finney? Yes, it was. I've seen it, but it was a very long time ago. Thought it was okay, as I remember. I need to take a look at that one at some point. I've actually got hold of it at last. My Audrey Hepburn top five. Roman Holiday, not seen that. The Nun's Story, nope. My mum used to like that one. I think she's seen that one a few times. My Fair Lady, absolute classic. Brilliant soundtrack, gorgeous looking film. The Children's Hour, devastating. We watched that for the first time probably about 3 weeks ago. My God, that was a traumatic film to get through. I thought it was going to be fairly straightforward when it started. I kind of saw where it was going, and I thought, I know how this is going to end. Absolutely not. It took the wildest left turn within the last 10-15 minutes. Nasty, well, not nasty, but just it wasn't how I expected it to end. And finally, Sabrina, which I've also not seen. Probably no surprises there. Have seen Wait Until Dark, but need to see it again, which is why it's not included in the list. I haven't seen Wait Until Dark for years, but it's a cracking movie. If you enjoyed Blind Terror or See No Evil, as it was also known as, starring Mia Farrow, you will enjoy Wait Until Dark because it's in a similar vein. How to Steal a Million is worth a watch, as I like Peter O'Toole. I've heard of this but never seen it. Robin and Marion is probably her last memorable film as support to Sean Connery as Robin Hood. I really enjoyed Robin and Marion. I saw it a long time ago. I might even have seen that at the cinema, I can't remember, but I've definitely seen it, but it was an awful long time ago, and yes, I also enjoyed that. The question was asked, who are your favourite directors? So here are a few I've come up with. I've steered clear of some of the obvious ones. Fred Zinnemann, and you've listed High Noon, which I bought on Blu-ray not too long back, but I haven't watched yet. The Nun's Story, which I think we mentioned earlier. The Sundowners. Is that Burt Lancaster? I think it's Burt Lancaster. The Day of the Jackal, which is absolutely amazing. What a film. Edward Fox, just brilliant. I know the TV series of the same name is doing really well. Guy loves it, absolutely loves Day of the Jackal. That's one I keep meaning to take in. David Lean, In Which We Serve, that's a war film I've not seen. This Happy Breed, not seen. Blithe Spirit, this is the one to do with the seance, isn't it? I think I saw it a long time ago. Hobson's Choice, heard of it but not seen it. A name I didn't know, shame on me, Cy Enfield. He directed two movies that are excellent, Hell Drivers and Zulu, Say No More. Nothing much you can say about that. Zulu is a total classic. Stanley Baker and Michael Caine. Hell Drivers, Stanley Baker in just the most literally hellish story about lorry drivers. What a movie. What a movie. Lewis Gilbert, Reach for the Sky. Saw that a long time ago. This is Douglas Bader, isn't it? An Educating Reader. Absolutely brilliant. Julie Walters and Michael Caine. Superb. The next two, again, I didn't know them by name, but the movies speak for themselves. John McTiernan, and you've listed Predator, Die Hard, and The Hunt for Red October. All cracking movies. Jim Sheridan, and you've listed My Left Foot, The Field, and In the Name of the Father. I think the only one I've seen in that list is In the Name of the Father, which I saw a long time ago. The Field, is that Burt Lancaster again? I've got the funny feeling that's Burt Lancaster. I know of My Left Foot. This is the story of Christy Brown, is it? Daniel Day-Lewis and Brenda Fricker, if I remember right. Never seen it, but I heard great things about it. So thanks for that, Dave. Much appreciated, mate. Glad I finally caught up with you. Stuart, congratulations on 1,000 subscriptions or subscribers, mate. Well, good going, that is. I think I'm on, mine have actually crept up a bit. I think mine were on 176. It's crept up while I wasn't looking to 181, so I don't know who the new ones are. I must take a look. But congratulations on that, mate. Well deserved. You've got a cracking channel, and I love your videos. Right, so Roy, Ooh, Dirty Dancing is Roy's favourite movie. Really? Seriously? I don't know whether to believe you or not. Roy's obviously going to reply to that. Burnt Offerings is fantastic. I'm a big fan of Oliver Reed. Love Oliver Reed. The Jazz Singer has always been a favourite of mine from an early age. I saw The Jazz Singer when it came out in 1980. Immediately bought the vinyl soundtrack. Loved it. Absolutely loved it. Still do. Just released my latest video, my top 10 70s disaster movies. Great years for disaster movies. What are a few of your favourite 70s disaster movies? It was just a classic decade for that particular genre, wasn't it? I'd have to say The Tower and Inferno, The Swarm, which is one of my all-time favourite Irwin Allen movies. Never get bored of it. It got the most awful reviews when it came out, but I think it's gained a cult following over the years. But I absolutely loved it the first time I saw it. Roller Coaster with George Segal, that was good. Earthquake with Charlton Heston and a host of other people, that was excellent. One called Meteor with Sean Connery, which doesn't get talked about an awful lot. I'd actually forgotten about it until I looked up 70s disaster movies for this particular answer to the question. And I thought, blimey, that's one I've not seen for a long time. So that's one I need to get hold of. And I used to love the airport movies. I know they started about 1968, or was it 67? But obviously they did Airport 75, Airport 77, Airport 80, the Concorde. I think 77 was the one where the plane crashed within the Bermuda Triangle. But I love all those movies. They're really, really stupid, hokey, trashy fun, but really enjoyed them. See you next Saturday morning, Tony, mate. You certainly will, Stuart. My director of the week this week, I've gone for Ken Russell. I love his work. The Devils, what can you say about The Devils? Just an absolute classic. An unpleasant watch, a very difficult watch, but a classic movie. But I've not gone for The Devils. I've gone for my director of the week, Altered States. This is William Hurt's very first movie, and basically he experiments with well, I'll tell you what, if I read the back out to you, it'll give you a better idea. Research scientist Eddie Jessup believes other states of consciousness are as real as everyday reality, using sensory deprivation, then adding powerful hallucinogenic drugs. Gloves. He explores these altered states and endures experience that made madness seem a blessing. It's a cracking movie. Again, not seen it since it first came out. I think the last time I watched this was on VHS. But I just remember the visuals being absolutely stunning. But the movie itself, this is another one that's just batshit crazy. But that's Ken Russell for you. So that's my director of the week for this week, Ken Russell, and I've gone for Altered States. Steve Mack, our Criterion Guide. Morning, Steve. It was me that recommended Concussion. I actually rewatched it, just as good as I remember. I couldn't remember who it was who recommended it. Tony, you'll never believe this, but I actually have a spare copy of Reds. It's a US Blu-ray, but I think it might play in a Region B player, as it's a Paramount release. You're welcome to it. It's just sitting in a pile of discs I plan to sell, but can't be bothered to list on eBay at the moment. Yours if you want it. I very much want it, and I thank you very much for that, Steve. I believe you've still got my details on Messenger. So yes, I would very much say yes to that, and I appreciate that. I'm very nervous of ordering the 40th anniversary edition because it is classed as Region A, and I've been bitten by that twice before now, ordering movies that are Region A thinking, yeah, I'll get away with it. And then all of a sudden you pay sort of 20, 25 quid for this thing, you get it, you put it in, and it comes up, well, we'll not play in this region or whatever it is. So I'm a bit loath to order that particular edition, but you say that the one that you got should play on a Region B player. So yes, that's a definite yes for me, and my sincere thanks for that, Steve. I look forward to receiving that and to taking a look at that, all 3.25 hours of it. So thanks for that, mate, much appreciated. Dress to Kill. What a story. I ordered it from Zavvi. There's my mistake right there. It took 4 weeks of chasing up only to find out they'd lost it. I've never shopped with Zavvi. I don't think I ever have. I've heard too many bad things about it. Got a refund and ended up buying it on eBay. It arrived 2 days ago. A great Brian De Palma film. Happy Easter. Happy Easter to you too, Steve. I have to say, along with Carrie, Dressed to Kill is absolutely my favourite Brian De Palma movie. It's one of my favourite Michael Caine movies as well. It was just superb. It was just pure Hitchcock and just brilliant. So I can't wait to take a look at that 4K restoration. That is going to look so good. So thanks ever so much for that, Steve. Very much appreciated, mate, and thank you very much for the copy of Reds, which I believe you forwarded on to me. So yeah, that's very much appreciated. A lovely offer. Thank you very much for that. Roy, oh, I've got something to show you, dude. Hang on, where is it? What have I done with it? Just bear with me. Oh, there it is. You're a Hazel O'Connor fan. I was talking about a book that I spotted on. No, I wasn't talking about it. I think I shared a post that I'd found. The paperback novelisation of the movie Breaking Glass, and I did say that I would love to get a copy of that. Guess what? Found a copy. This cost me 12 quid off eBay. And I believe there are other copies on there. So if you head on over to eBay, you're looking for Breaking Glass by Susan Hill. I've not read it yet, but I love movie tie-ins. Even though I've seen this film many, many times, I am curious to know whether this book is basically the same as the film. So I will be taking a look at that. But that looks amazing. So yeah, that's where you'll find it, mate. Head over to eBay and look that one up and you'll find a copy of that. Morning, Tony. Thanks again for the weekly entertainment. You're more than welcome, mate. I have the same copy of Harold and Maude as you do. The Masters of Cinema range is from Eureka. I probably should have realised that, but I didn't, and I don't know why. You seriously need to educate Rob with those films. How has he not seen Star Wars? I honestly don't know. He's not massive on science fiction films. He will watch them. I think he enjoyed the Planet of the Apes series, but he's not like me. He won't watch everyone he can get his hands on. So I have to be a bit choosy about what I sit him in front of. But I found another 5 here that I would like to show him at some point. Saturday nights is the great time to do it because we sit and have a pizza. But these are 5. They're not exactly what your class is. Just bear with me. Gwyn or dry. They're not exactly blockbusters, but these are films that I've seen and I absolutely love from years ago, and I'm fairly sure he will get on with these. The first one, I am not a fan of sports movies as such. I did enjoy the Rocky films, mostly because they were character based around boxing, but not about boxing. And this I would class as in a similar vein. I saw this years ago and thoroughly enjoyed it. Slapshot with Paul Newman. This is based around the world of ice hockey. It's a comedy, it's a drama, it's as raw as hell, from about 1977. I do remember a reviewer basically saying that if you want to hear Paul Newman say fuck 97,000 times, this is the movie to go for. So I do need to watch this again. It's still in the cellophane, as you can see, but I get the feeling, even though it's based around ice hockey, I think he will quite enjoy that one. Next one, these are 2 of my favourites. It's a Peter Fonda double bill. One of them stars Susan George, the other one stars Warren Oates, Loretta Swit, who was Hot Lips in MASH. 2 of my favourites. Dirty Mary, Crazy Larry is just the ultimate, to me, road movie. I absolutely adore it. 2 petty criminals rob a supermarket. Basically, Susan George tags along with them while they're on the run. It's just really, really good fun. Cracking road movie. The other one is Race with the Devil. Basically, 2 couples go on holiday together in a big camper van. They're parked out in the middle of nowhere one night when they witness a black magic ritual involving a human sacrifice, and they're basically on the run from a group or a coven of witches. It's another road movie, but one with a difference, and the ending is just, you do not see it coming if you've never seen it. I think you'd get a real kick out of those. Next one. the China Syndrome. He does love a good drama, and this is one of the best from 1978. You've got Jane Fonda, Michael Douglas, and the wonderful Jack Lemmon. This one, as you all know, is about a near accident at a nuclear facility. Fonda and Douglas play reporters who just happen to be on site when this happens, and it's basically a drama as to whether they can publish the story or not. But this is absolutely brilliant, and I think you'd really enjoy it for the dramatic aspect of it. The next one we watched the other week, the Christopher Reeve documentary, which by the way was heartbreaking. And at the end of it, he asked whether I got the original Superman. And I said, yeah, do you fancy watching it one night? And he said, yeah, I've never seen it. And it's like, what, really? So, Superman the movie, got it on 4K, which I've never seen on 4K. So I get the feeling he'll quite enjoy that. And finally, he cannot stand the sight of Jack Nicholson, but I desperately want him to watch this because I get the feeling this one could change his mind. Kubrick's The Shining. This is the extended version. You can't say anything other than this is an absolute, complete and utter classic. Just a brilliant movie. Shelley Duvall, my God, what she went through for this movie is just horrendous. I think Kubrick treated her like crap. But even though he cannot stand the sight of Jack Nicholson, I get the feeling he would quite like this if he gave it half an hour to get going, because it does take a while to pick up speed, if you know what I mean. But that's one I'm sort of 50-50 on. I don't know. That's probably going to be at the bottom of the watch pile, but that's another 5 that I would like to introduce him to at some point. If you could be an extra in any film, which one would it have been? Oh, blimey. I'll tell you what, I'll go for my 2 favourites. Saturday Night Fever. I'd probably be one of those. You remember when the line dancing to Night Fever about sort of 30 minutes into it? I'd probably be one of them in in those tight flares and one of those nylon shirts. Or Close Encounters. One of the guys in the overalls at the end just looking up at the sky going, oh, like that, that'd be me. So, they're the ones I come up with off the top of my head. Let's see. Got Ollie coming up, but I think I'm going to take a quick break because I'm coming up to 28 minutes. So I'll be back in a sec with Ollie's comments. And we're back. Right, on to Ollie. Morning, Ollie. First off, we were talking about Local Hero. Last week you were saying that you watched it and you really enjoyed it. I thought you might be interested in this. I don't know whether you're much of a reader, but Local Hero, this is a book written by Jonathan Melville, basically making a Scottish classic, as it says there, and this is all to do with the story behind it, the making of the movie, the publicity, all that kind of thing. It's just basically the story of the film. I've read this through once, absolutely loved it, and I'd highly recommend it. Don't know how much it was, it doesn't say on the back anymore, does it? But yeah, highly recommended. Is there any photographs in this? I can't remember. Let's have a quick flick through. Yeah, there are some in the centre. But if you like Local Hero, that comes highly recommended. Right, morning Tony, hope you are having a great Easter weekend. It's not been too bad actually, thanks mate. I'm away this weekend, so I had to have a hard think of what I have actually watched this week. Again, welcome to my world. I did watch The Snowman yesterday, which I know most people don't enjoy, partly because of the bad script and also Val Kilmer's bad dubbing, but I love films like that, so it works for me. I'd never heard of The Snowman, I had to look it up. And I will be getting a copy of that to take a look at, because not only you've recommended it, I think Mark recommended me that one as well, so I will be taking a look at that one. Let's see, do you have any films that you feel as though you are the only one that likes it? Oh my God, so many. I don't even know where to start. I do enjoy those old 50s black and white sci-fi monster movies. The Black Scorpion, Tarantula, Them, the one about the ants, the Giant Mantis, The Incredible Shrinking Man, I do enjoy those. I'm a big fan of trashy 70s exploitation movies, such as sort of the Jackie Collins novels, The Stud, Empire of the Ants was a good one, Food of the Gods, quite a few of those. And I'm a big fan of independent cinema, which a lot of people class as slow and boring. I absolutely love them, and you could give me an independent film over a blockbuster any day, and I will sit and watch it. Um, Anything at all like that. So I will compile a proper list. I may even have quite a few of them upstairs. So I'll dig out 5 or 10 in time for next week. Movies that I adore, but know that a lot of people don't really know why I adore them. So leave that with me. That'll be coming next week, mate. I also watched Frost Nixon the other day, which was really interesting. Do you have a few favourite biopics set around a specific event in history? Hope you have a fantastic week, and we'll speak to you same time next week, all being well. I probably do, but I've not had time to think about it. I've completely missed that question, mate. I do apologise. Leave that with me, and I'll come back on that one next week. I normally make a little list underneath of what I've thought of or what I've looked up, but I've completely missed that one, so I do apologise. I will come back to that next week. So thanks for that, Ollie, much appreciated. Simon, morning, Si. Great watch as usual, Tony. Thanks, mate. In reference to who would you cast as Kate Bush, I think that Thomasin McKenzie would be a good choice, in my opinion. She played Eloise in Last Night in Soho, which I absolutely adored, and I would never have thought of her in a million years. But yeah, I looked at some pictures of her on Google, and I could definitely see it. So yes, that's a really good choice. Also, you didn't mention Cher in Mask for musicians turned actors. I love Mask. I've seen it a few times. I think I saw that in London when it first came out. I think I've basically gone there to pick some soundtracks up from a place called 58 Dean Street Records, and I used to take in a film in the afternoon before I caught the bus back to Burton. Yeah, I'm surprised I never mentioned that one either. I've actually ordered a copy of that, which I'm hoping is coming sometime this week, because I've not seen it for so many years, and I really wanted to take a look at it. Or even the greatest performance of all time, Mick Jagger in Free Jack. I used to work with a guy who went to see Free Jack when it first came out, and he said it was brilliant. He absolutely loved it. Not really my kind of film, which is why I probably avoided it. But I will definitely be taking it in soon, because you got me curious about that one. So thanks for that one, Si. Much appreciated. Sam, morning, Sam. Good morning, Tony. Great video as ever, mate. Hope you have or had a great Easter. I did. It's not been too bad at all, mate. What are some of your go-to films to watch over the Easter weekend or bank holiday in general? I love to watch the carry-ons on the buses, Wallace and Gromit, and of course the original Willy Wonka around Easter as per usual. Truth be known, I usually work the bank holidays, mate, so I don't really get to watch as many of the movies that I would like to see that I used to watch at Easter before I started working bank holidays. If I did, it would be basically the ones that you suggested. The carry-ons are usually on around Easter, I think ITV 3 or 4, and I get the feeling that if I went onto the schedule now on my Virgin box, I'm fairly sure the carry-ons would play a huge part in that. But I used to love all that sort of thing. Chitty Bang Bang, I adored that. Railway Children, that was another firm favourite. These were all good, solid bank holiday entertainment, and of course a Bond film. You can't have a bank holiday without a Bond film, and if there is not one on, I'll be very, very surprised. Has there ever been a movie that got you into a band or artist's music, whether it's a biopic or a movie, a documentary even? I think I understood that question right. I read it and I couldn't make a tail of it. And I thought, I think I know what he's trying to say to me, but if I've got that wrong, I apologise now. But that's what I think you meant. I've listed 5 here. Woodstock was one. I just thought it was a wonderful event, and it was the one that started all of this festival stuff that we have now. Obviously festivals, they're everywhere, all over the place. Back then, Woodstock, I think was one of the original festivals, and I absolutely loved it, and I adored the soundtrack. Sweet Dreams, which was Jessica Lange as Patsy Cline, the country singer. I actually bought the soundtrack to that because I loved the music of Patsy Cline, but didn't realise it at the time until I actually saw the movie. Amadeus. Didn't have much of an interest in classical music before I watched that one. This was Tom Hulce's Mozart. Just brilliant, absolutely brilliant. The Doors. Apart from Light My Fire, I had no idea what other tracks they did. I had no idea about Riders on the Storm, People Are Strange, all that sort of thing. So that's another one that got me into the music of the Doors. And I saw an Edith Piaf documentary a long time ago, and straight off I thought, I love this lady's voice. Parisian singer from the sort of 40s, 50s. So absolutely loved it. So I'm looking forward to watching La Vie en Rose, which is a music biopic of Edith Piaf's life, which I do keep meaning to take a look at. So I hope that answers your question there, mate. Great to see you got the Batman Tim Burton Joel Schumacher set on Blu-ray, Tony. BM89, Batman 89 is one of my favourite films ever. I love Jack Nicholson as the Joker. I just thought he was outstanding. Love Batman Returns. Have I seen that one? This is Danny DeVito as the Penguin, isn't it? I get the feeling I've seen it, but I can't remember, which is why I got the box set. Got a major soft spot for Batman Forever, which I've never seen, and Batman and Robin as well. So much fun. Batman and Robin is cited as being one of the worst movies ever, but I will be taking a look at it, especially now I've got them on Blu-ray. I am hearing great things about this new film Sinners with Michael B. Jordan, set in the 30s and something to do with vampires. Do you plan on watching this movie, Tony? I absolutely do. Two of the group members posted reviews on the group yesterday. They'd both been to see it, Callum and Rob, and they've come away with glowing reviews. They absolutely loved it, and every single review I've read or seen of Sinners is glowing. So yes, I really, really do want to see that. I've heard it's a little bit gnarly in parts, but I'm ready for it. So, but yes, I will be watching Sinners literally as soon as I can. Are there any films that take place at a certain time of year, such as Christmas or Halloween, but are not actually about those times of year, that you would happily watch at any time of the year? Or do you save those films for those times of year? For example, Iron Man 3, Lethal Weapon and Shazam are all set around Christmas, but to some are not Christmas films. I pretty much watch, or I would pretty much watch Christmas films any time of the year. There are one or two that I do save for December, i.e. Albert Finney's Scrooge, the Bing Crosby Christmas specials, the TV specials, the Snowman, all that kind of thing. The big ones I will always save for December, but I've got quite a few minor Christmas titles that I don't mind watching pretty much any time of the year. So yeah, I don't mind sort of watching them pretty much any time of the year. It's like Halloween. I try to save that for Halloween night, and I will usually watch it every year. I think last year was the only year that I missed it completely, because I was so tired. I think I put it on and I fell asleep like 10 minutes into it. But normally I will save the original Halloween for Halloween night. Not so much the sequels, I'll watch those anytime. But the original Halloween from '78, I try to save for the actual night. And I do love biblical epics at Easter. I'm hoping to watch either King of Kings or The Greatest Story Ever Told sometime over the next couple of days, but it completely depends. As I say, I'm working tomorrow. I don't know whether it's going to be a full shift or not. If we finish early and I get home and Rob's not in because he's doing a full shift, I will probably put one of those on, just to basically get into the Easter mood, which is pointless because it's all over by then. So I hope that answers that one, mate. Tony, what is your favourite boutique label and favourite films from that label? And is there any films you love to see the boutique labels do a nice edition of? I will try to find out or hunt out 10 boutique label titles that I've got upstairs in time for next week? I misread that question, so I do apologise. I'll sort that out for next week. I do love the boutique labels because they're always releasing stuff that you never ever thought you'd see on Blu-ray. BFI, I love the BFI titles. Curzon, they do independent cinema, love those. Second Sight have done some cracking titles. Indicator, I've bought so many Indicator titles, I must be one of their best customers. Criterion, I do love the Criterion movies. I believe I've got Midnight Cowboy, but I do find them a little bit on the expensive side. So it has to be a movie that I'm really into to spend sort of between 25 and 30 quid on the Criterion edition. 101, love the 101 films. But what I'll do is I'll sort out 5 or 10 boutique label titles next week. Which is going to be very easy because I've got so many of them upstairs, so leave that with me. As for editions of movies that I would love to see released by the boutique labels, I would love to see an all singing, all dancing, all bells and whistles edition of Kingdom of the Spiders, for one. I think that would look handsome on. I've already got it on Blu-ray. I think it's the Code Red Blu-ray, the Region 3 one. But there's not that much in the way of extras on it. I get the feeling there could be more to be found on that. Also the Giant Spider Invasion, which is one of the crappiest films ever, but I absolutely love it. I'd love to see a bells and whistles edition of that. The Nightcaller, which is one of the very first horror movies I ever watched, made in 1965. It's a black and white thing, similar in tone to the Quatermass Experiment. I would love to see a good edition of that. Curse of the Fly, one of the very first pure horror movies that I was allowed to stay up and watch. I think I'd have been about 7 or 8 at the time, and it scared me rigid, absolutely scared me rigid. I didn't get past 20 minutes in that one, but I'd love to see a good version of that. It's not the best movie, but I'd love to see a good print of it. A Touch of Class, one of my favourite all-time comedies, Glenda Jackson and George Segal. I'm sure one of the boutique labels is going to pick it up at some point. It's got a brilliant soundtrack. It's an awesome comedy. I would love to see an ultimate edition of that. And also a movie called Scream Time, which I saw. It would have been Burton Odin. It would have been about 81 or 82. It's kind of an anthology movie. It's like 5 or 6 separate stories. It's a British production. I've never seen it since. I can see the VHS title now, and I used to watch it quite regular when I was at the video shop. It's one of those movies that I would take home once every month or two and just watch it again and again. I used to love it, and I'd love to see that again. I don't think it's available on DVD, let alone Blu-ray, but that's another one called Scream Time. You look it up. It's a cracking movie. Hope you had a great Easter, mate, and bring on next Saturday's vlog. Absolutely, mate. Mark hasn't commented this week, but he has popped his never seen it on. Your never seen for this week, Mark, was Mask. Pleasantly surprised. Had a flick through it before I watched it and honestly thought, what is this shit? Gave it a go, and yeah, it's a good film. Good performances from Cher and Eric Stoltz. Would I watch it again? Not sure, but it gets a 7 out of 10. I love Mask. I haven't seen it for a long time, which is why I ordered a copy of it from, I think it was Amazon or eBay, on Blu-ray, which hopefully should be here sometime during the course of this week. And then obviously I saw your never seen it, and I thought that's coincidence, surely. But yeah, I'm glad you enjoyed that, mate. So thanks for that. Jason K. Morning, Jay. Like you, I was shocked about Higgis, but I completely understand the decision and wish them all the best in everything. And like you said, they'll be popping back up, and of course they're still in the group. Absolutely. It's hard to know what to say. Like I say, they're still with us. You know, they're not dead. They're still going to be posting. And obviously Callie says that Miss Violet Impulse will be back with a new series, very shortly. So we've not seen the last of Higgis as such. It's just not going to be regular seasons, as we said. So Falling Down is one of those films that I love, probably more now than when I first saw it. Absolute classic and really stands the test of time. I'm going to introduce Rob to this one if it kills me. I get the feeling he will really, really enjoy Falling Down. Good to see the Trashy Tuesdays back again, by the way. I'm going to start catching up with those over the next week or so, and also the Franchise Fridays. Not a fan of the Universal Soldier movies, so I'm looking forward to seeing what comes next. Got to agree with you, Tarantino's work is good, but Reservoir Dogs is still his best. I know a lot of people tend to think Pulp Fiction or Kill Bill, but I think his best work was his first film. I didn't mind Inglourious Bastards and Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, but they did seem to drag on a bit. They got longer, didn't they, as his career moved on. I think Once Upon a Time in Hollywood was a good 2.5, maybe 3 hours long. Same with Inglourious Bastards, but both good films. But as you say, you're in for the long haul with those two. Office Space, yes. 100% highly recommend. If you have ever worked in a cubicle or an office or dealt with multiple managers, then it will hit home more. If you haven't, well, you will still enjoy it. It's just fun. I'm in the process at the moment of grabbing a copy of that one. I love 80s comedies, but that is one I have to confess I've never seen. Howard the Duck. I haven't seen that in such a long time, but it's a fun movie. The practical effects looked amazing for the time, and honestly, despite the hate it got, or still gets, it's a fun film. That's another one I'm going to track down. Usually when people tell me that films are crap, I normally think they're good. So I will definitely be taking a look at Howard the Duck. If you do get the butterfly effect, don't go any further than the first one. There are 3 of them. 2 and 3 are terrible. Now, Callie would disagree with you. She loves the first one and the third one. She doesn't hold with anything as far as the second one goes, but she does like the third one. Take care and have a great week. Thanks a lot, mate. Hope things are settling down for you now, but over there in Australia, things are picking up and your job's sorted and all that sort of thing. So good to hear from you, mate. Callie. Morning, Callie. It's Saturday morning Tony time with a brew, the way a Saturday should be. Thank you, sweetheart, much appreciated. Thank you so much for the love, for the Higgis love. It was a hard decision for both myself and Guy to make, but as they say, it's better to burn out than to simply fade away. As you said, we are planning on the odd episode here and there, and Calico Productions will have a new show filling the Higgis spot very, very soon with the return of Miss Violet's Underworld. Look forward to that. Wes Craven, a true icon of horror. Did you know that one of his first films was Swamp Thing? I didn't. No. I know his first one was Last House on the Left. I didn't realise he got anything to do with Swamp Thing. I need to check that out, definitely. All these De Niro films, and no one has mentioned his turn as the monster in Mary Shelley's Frankenstein. His performance alone is worth giving it a watch. I saw that a long time ago. Really, really enjoyed it. De Niro was just as sinister as hell in that, so yes, I do remember that. Howard the Duck. My thoughts on it. It is by no means a hidden or forgotten classic, but for me it's a good, dumb, fun kind of film. Stars Lee Thompson and Tim Robbins in early roles, has a great 80s soundtrack and a few funny moments. Solid 7 out of 10 from me. Not amazing, but not the worst film I've ever seen. So that's 2 fans, including JK, our Ginger Ninja. He loved it. Films I would have loved to have seen at the cinema but was too young to go. That list could end up being longer than Tony's watch list. Bloody hell, really? But my top 3 will be Terminator 2, Transformers the movie. Is that the animated version from about 86? And the original version of The Crow, which I saw recently and quite enjoyed. Now, a colleague of mine at work has watched the remake and she really enjoyed that, but she's never seen the original. She did warn me that I probably won't like it to the most horrendous leg break due to that. So I'm probably going to swerve the Crow remake, but I've seen the original. That's probably all I do need to see. The Butterfly Effect films, definitely worth a watch, but in my opinion, only watch 1 and 3. This is what I was saying to JK. The second one was shit with a twist at the end that sort of implies incest. Oh dear. Sounds a bit unsavoury. Right, time to get started on my day at 1 in the afternoon. Another great episode, honey. Catch you in the next one. Have a great week. Thanks, Callie. Much appreciated. I forgot to comment on the Russ Meyer book. Where did you get it from? I'd love to give it a read. I picked it up from eBay, and I believe it cost me about £12 or £13. It looks a cracking book. It certainly looks in depth enough, let's put it that way. So if you're into Russ Meyer's films, it looks like a book that you need to grab hold of. So go on eBay and you'll find it on there. So thanks for that, Callie. Let's see. Jason P. Morning, Jay. Great video, Tony. Cheers, mate. I doubt very much. Oh, by the way, loving the new thread. Absolutely loving it. That first day was just cracking. Pre-60s movies. Way to go. I doubt very much that the Bond movies will be cut for their 4K release, as people will send them back and the distributors would have a lot of scrap on their hands. I think they would tell you if they were toned down, like they did with the upcoming Crocodile Dundee release. Why do they have to cut anything? I can't go into this now. What time are we on? 23. I've just got time to finish. I can't get into that one. But you know my thoughts on that. Chips and the A-Team, our favourite American TV spin-off movies. I've not seen Chips and I've not seen the A-Team, but I do remember the original series. You worked at Comet. Can you remember Barker's Video next door? That wasn't the Comet that I worked in. The Comet I worked in was the one in Bargates, but I do remember Barker's Video. I have very clear memories of it. I loved it in there. The first time I walked in, the lady behind the counter was listening to the soundtrack to A Clockwork Orange, and I thought, this woman's cool. This is really cool. And I said to her, we just got chatting about A Clockwork Orange. I got a really ropey VHS 10th generation filmed off a cinema screen copy of A Clockwork Orange, and she got the same, and we were just comparing notes on it and basically saying that we hope to see it basically on proper VHS as it was back then at some point soon. But I do remember Barker's very well. I was in there pretty much every night straight from work. Class Reunion, the National Lampoon movie, I've not seen for years. I wouldn't mind taking that one in again. I think we're going to have a watch of it again one weekend, I'm fairly sure of it, but I think it will hold up. I'm fairly sure of it. Howard the Duck, I thought was shit, but that's when it was first released and not seen it since. I think it'll probably be worse now. I'll let you know when I've watched it. Jaws Empire magazine, it may be a few more than 8 pages, but didn't seem like it. It didn't want me to purchase it anyway, so fair enough. What happened to your Never Seen from a few weeks ago? You said it was one of my recommendations and you were loving it, which I was. I knew your Never Seens will be once a year. No, they're not. I am going to get my act together on this, Jay, I promise you. I will do that particular Never Seen if I've got time before I have to put the dinner on. I'll do it. So you should have seen it by the time this comes out, but it was definitely one of your recommendations. Until next time, have a good Easter. Cheers, mate. Never seen it for this week. It was Dog Day Afternoon from 1975. Synopsis: 3 amateur robbers plan to hold up a Brooklyn bank. A nice, simple robbery. Walk in, take the money and run. Unfortunately, the supposedly uncomplicated heist suddenly becomes a bizarre nightmare, as everything that could go wrong does. Verdict: I've avoided this for years as I didn't think it would be my kind of film, but I really enjoyed this from start to finish. I'd watch it again, and if I saw the DVD for less than a couple of quid, I'd buy it for a future viewing. Even Mark said, this one I enjoyed far better than Scarface. It's Al Pacino, isn't it? I haven't seen Dog Day Afternoon again for a lot of years. I would love to watch it again, and I'll give you my thoughts on it when I've watched it, but I'm fairly certain that I will still enjoy it. So, and I believe that's everything for this week. I've been buying again, but nowhere near as much. I think I finally got it under control. It's only 3 DVDs. These are not available, as far as I can tell, on Blu-ray, or they're outrageously expensive. So I've gone for DVDs because I'm not a Blu-ray snob. If I can get them on DVDs, I'll get them. First one, I listened to a podcast on this last week. It's 3.5 hours long. It's a Japanese movie. I know very little about it apart from what I've heard on the pod, but I was really, really intrigued by it, so I grabbed a copy for $9.99 off eBay, called Eureka.
When a bus is violently hijacked in a small Japanese town, only 3 people survive. The guilt-racked driver and young brother and sister. Tell you what, scrap that. I'll let you know what it's like when I've watched it. It's alright, that synopsis on the back. There are some Japanese names and I can't pronounce them, so I'm not even going to attempt that. Another one, again, saw this at Burton Odeon in 1980 when it came out. Loved it, bought the vinyl. Jazz Singer. I think Ollie showed this off last week. There are Blu-rays of this out there, but they're outrageously expensive. But I absolutely love this, and I'm really looking forward to taking another look at it. I haven't seen the Jazz Singer for years, but yeah, that's another one. And finally, I watched a movie last week called This Beautiful Fantastic on iPlayer. Basically, a colleague and me were talking last week about just basically nice, easy going, easy watching films. You know, nothing offensive in them, no effing and jeffing, no violence, no sex or anything like that. Just a nice film. And she recommended This Beautiful Fantastic, which I thought was absolutely awesome. And it put me in mind of this one, which I've seen quite a few times, but I haven't seen for quite a while. And you know what? I wouldn't mind watching it again. 84 Charing Cross Road stars Anne Bancroft and Anthony Hopkins. Basically, Anthony Hopkins owns a bookshop in Charing Cross. Anne Bancroft is a literature student in the States. She sees an advert for this bookshop and decides to order a book that she's having difficulty getting, and then realizes that this bookshop is an absolute treasure trove of the kind of books that she loves to read, English literature that she just can't get in America or are available in very expensive sort of limited editions, that kind of thing. And she strikes up a friendship with Anthony Hopkins via letter, I'm glad I'm wrapping this up in a minute because this is not going well. She basically strikes up a friendship with Anthony Hopkins via letter because obviously we didn't have email back then. And I think eventually they do meet, I can't remember. But I definitely want to take this in again. It's a gorgeous, beautiful little film. As I say, nothing remotely offensive by it. So that's it. I'm calling it the stammer's creeping in. Thanks ever so much for joining me, guys. I will be back again the same time next week, all being well. I am sorry for wrapping it up so quick, but this last 5 minutes has gone absolutely appallingly. And I know you lot don't mind, but I do. So have a brilliant week, folks. Again, thanks ever so much for joining me and for all your continued support, for not only for me but for the channel. Much appreciated. Have a brilliant week, guys, and I will talk to you all again next week. Take care. Ta-da.